Welcome back to the podcast, Pizza Podcast with Christian and Johnny. Today we're continuing our discussion on Moses, starting in chapter 5.
This guy's got a lot going on.
Seriously. And if you know the full span of his life, I won't spoil anything, but it definitely doesn't turn, it's not a predictable outcome. But we'll get to that at some point, maybe by 2026. Yeah. But today I made a mac and cheese and bacon pizza with half buffalo. So it's half buffalo bacon mac, half regular bacon mac. Just in case you want spice, you don't want spice, I just wanted to give it the option.
You still talking to them or me? When you said
well,
you?
They're not eating it.
Wait, but you're like telling them about it, and you said the pronoun you. So if you're still talking to them. No, okay. I just making sure.
I
don't know how much we had to share.
I can look in one direction and still talk to you, Johnny. See? It's a talent.
Who are you talking to again?
I'm surprised you haven't eaten it already. Like,
I
normally I can't even
patient.
get an intro in and you're already halfway through the pizza. Now all of a sudden you want to wait? I made the buffalo side specifically for you because I know you like the buffalo.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to start on that side too, just because
I do like the buffalo.
I want to feel the heat.
I like eating hot stuff first because it'll linger, so then when you don't eat the hot stuff, it's still hot.
It's pretty good. It'd be a little bit better if I didn't have to cook it for an extra 45 minutes waiting for you.
Yeah,
it's very hard to keep a pizza hot without drying it out.
Like 30 minutes.
Yeah. But hey, sometimes you got to call an audible and you got to make it work. And I think we did it. I think we made the play. So picking up on Moses, just a recap. Exodus 1 through 4 is basically Pharaoh doesn't like the fact that the Israelites are multiplying because he feels threatened, that there'll be too many of them to control. So he tries to kill every male baby. Moses survives that debacle by getting hidden in the river in a basket. Is it Pharaoh's daughter finds him, indirectly raises him. Then Moses kills the Egyptian person. I don't even say slave master because it's not confirmed, but it's just an Egyptian that was being mean to some Hebes. And he kills him, buries him in the sand, and then he gets scared and runs away because Pharaoh wants to kill him. He interacts with the burning bush. I think coincidentally.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I knew I was waiting for it. It's good. It's good. It's good to contradict and question things. That's why we're here. So, who knows? Either way, the bush talked to him. Well, God talked to him. Told him to go back into Egypt. Tell Pharaoh to let the Israelites go, just for a 3-day camping trip, just so they can get out and have a little fun. Play a little volleyball in the desert. Maybe swim in an oasis if they have one. Shirtless, like Top Gun style.
I haven't seen it. We've already established that. I haven't seen Top Gun.
I think I blocked it out of my mind because it hurts me so much that you haven't seen Top Gun.
Probably never will.
I'm this close to pausing this podcast and making you watch it right now before we continue.
I had an idea of a secondary podcast idea. If we watch movies and talk about them, but like movies that I haven't seen, and then maybe there'd be one that I've seen that you haven't seen.
I don't think so. I've kind of seen everything.
Well,
but it would be fun. I do like it.
It would be fun.
Maybe we'll do the entertainment segment.
This is entertaining.
No, I mean like movie entertainment. This is reading entertainment. And is the Bible meant for entertainment or is it meant for instruction?
It's pretty entertaining.
It's entertaining, but it's also instructions. It's life's instruction manual.
I guess.
What do you mean you guess?
I guess.
What is the intent of the Bible?
What have you learned so far in Exodus? What to do with your life?
In Exodus?
Yeah, so far. Yeah.
Oh, don't murder people.
Where does it say that? Where does it say that?
I don't want to have to run away
Moses
out
got
of fear.
away with it.
I don't want to have to run away out of fear. I'm going to go in the desert and hide for like 40 years. You know, he was 80 years old when he went to Pharaoh to tell him this.
We're going to get that.
Yeah, just to timeline this, though.
Mm-hmm.
Moses was born and raised in Egypt. Does it mention or allude to how old he was when he killed the Egyptian guy? I would assume probably in his 30s. I don't know. It's just completely arbitrary guess. By the time he got back to Egypt to tell Pharaoh to let the people go, he was 80 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And his brother was 83. So he had an older bro to hang out with. I have an older bro to hang out with. It's pretty fun.
I'm the older bro.
It'd be kind of cool to go on an adventure with your older bro to like tell a king to go and do something you know he's not going to do and hope that you don't get killed in the process. I mean, if you're going to go through that step, you might as well go with your bro. Is that good, huh?
Yeah, how are you not dropping any? I've dropped like 4 of these already.
My mac and cheese game is on point. Plus, look, see the tilt?
Yeah, I'm like...
30 degree. 45 is too much. We're all caught up. Moses and his brother Aaron go back into Egypt. They tell Pharaoh what God told them to tell him. Basically, the God of Israel says, let my people go so they may hold a festival to me in the desert. So they just wanted to go. They just wanted a Coachella.
Dude, I want to do that so bad. Like,
Bro,
do a modern day festival for God. I think it'd be awesome. Like, there's certain songs. I would just specifically say Trees by 21 Pilots. Love that song. It, like, hearing it, you might not be like, oh, that's like a worship song. But, like, to me, I'm like, dude, that song...
Is it about
in
trees?
concert? Sort of. And it's, like, special to me because when I was a kid, I would climb a tree.
Not bad.
I would, like, climb a tree and pray and all that. So, like, this song, I'm like, oh, this song's so special to me. Like, it's so cool.
So you're like Zacchaeus.
I don't know if he prayed in the tree. He was just in a tree to see Jesus. I mean, yeah.
Close
I'm like,
enough.
yeah. So I think a modern day festival for God would be so cool.
You know, it's crazy. They really did only want to go into the desert for 3 days.
Yeah. They keep saying that.
Let us just go into the desert for 3 days.
Yeah.
Coachella style.
Sort of.
Party up. We'll come back, go back to slavery. Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
I think that was a pretty reasonable offer that Pharaoh.
Should have been.
Pharaoh says, who is the Lord that I should obey him and let Israel go? I do not know the Lord, and I will not let them go. That's probably his first problem. I don't know the Lord.
And so a weird thought came to me, like how names have meaning. And like, so Israel is like this group of people, but like to them, is it like, oh, it's the Hebrews? Or to them, are they like, Israel means struggling with God? So they're like, I don't know God, and I don't know the people that struggle with God. To me, that was just a weird thought and concept in my head that I was like thinking of.
Israel's also Jacob, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he's like, I don't know Jacob. I don't think I don't think it was taken that way in this.
Yeah.
I think Israel means like the Israelites, like
Just
these people. Yeah. Israel as a whole.
At least to us, but then again, back then, like names, Moses is named Moses because he was drawn out. Like it has like a, I don't know. It was just a weird thought to me. I'm like, he's like saying, like, I will not let the people who struggle with God go. Does he know what he said? Like, I don't know.
So then, after Pharaoh tells him, I don't know God and I'm not going to let him go, they said, the God of the Hebrews has met with us. Let us take a 3-day journey into the desert to offer sacrifices, or he may strike us with plagues or with the sword. Some versions say pestilence. I'll bet yours does.
With pestilence or with the sword?
Pestilence. So plagues, pestilence.
Yeah.
But then Pharaoh's like, why are you trying to take the people away from their work? They got pyramids to build.
Bro. For real.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, we're not even halfway. You're trying to go on a 3-day...
Dude, and it's like...
3-day party adventure into the desert.
Have you ever been somewhere where you're trying to take some work off or like a vacation? They clearly state, like, hey, you were on this vacation, whatever. And then, like, they make you feel guilty for it.
Of course.
That's
most of the time I work on my vacations.
That's crazy.
Because it's worse off. Because based on your job, if you leave, your work isn't getting done by anybody else. Because no one either can do it, or nobody wants to do it. Or people are just lazy, and it's just not going to get done. They'll just be like, they'll get it when they get back. So then when you come back, your work just piled up. Now you have...
Why?
X number of...
Why have we allowed society to design itself this way?
I don't know.
Like, why can't we just calm down? Hey, this guy's on vacation. Just postpone it a week. No big deal.
You can't postpone progress.
Why not? What is Nova doing over
Because
there?
then it's not progress. Does Mommy know you're up?
We have a camera. She's going to know. You're going to get caught.
Is this just like a Moses themed thing where she's just going to come down and get pizza and sneak back? You want spicy or not spicy? Not spicy. I'll give you one bite and then you got to get back to bed. You want to say hi to the...
And do you want to say sorry that you're up?
Say sorry, Mommy.
Sorry, Mommy.
There you go. Well, tell Mommy. She's on the camera.
Sorry, Mommy, you woke up.
Yeah. Sorry that I'm not in bed where I'm supposed to be. And I'm eating pizza with Daddy. She begged me today to be on this podcast. She wanted to be on the whole thing. She's like, I want to talk about Moses. I want to learn about Moses.
Are you eating my mac and cheese?
I am eating your mac and cheese. Dang it, I lost my spot. I gotta be honest.
We're talking about work. And like,
yeah,
it's just postpone it a week. Just postpone work a week.
But you can't postpone things.
Why not?
Certain jobs you can't postpone.
Why not?
If you're a cashier at a grocery store, somebody else can fill that. Obviously, you have to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're good. You can take a vacation, come back.
Mm-hmm.
It's a standard process. Nobody should screw it up. Like nobody, because typically for that position, you're specifically trained because you're dealing with money. Mm-hmm. So you can kind of rest easy. You're on vacation. You know where that's covered, and you're not going to be in trouble if anything gets screwed up because you're not there. But if you're managing like a construction project, you're not taking a week off unless you want things to go...
It's your vacation.
Very, very bad.
Does that manager have a boss?
Usually what they're
They come in
either distant or they're not actually doing work because they oversee things. They're not like hands on the floor.
like a manager.
So if you take off, if you're keeping people on a schedule because you're managing all the electrical and the plumbers and piping and all that other stuff, you take a week off and nobody's there to actually drive them and make sure that they're on schedule and help troubleshoot problems or solve issues that come up.
You write them up.
Things get behind. Now you're a week behind schedule. Now how do you make up for that? You make people work overtime, then you got to pay more. So now it just costs you more.
You also write the person
Or you
up.
make people work weekends, but typically in construction projects, people are working weekends anyway. But you got to change everything. You got to flip the whole script just because you wanted to take a week off in the sun. That's not good because then when you're on vacation, all you're thinking about is how messed up is everything going to be when I get back. You can't do it. That's why it's easier to just stay connected while you're on vacation and like in between having fun or time with your family. You can jump on a call or a work meeting, make sure things are going.
It's not worth it.
It's not ideal. It's not vacation, but that's where society has driven us.
Yeah, shouldn't be that
Things
way.
have to keep moving forward. Nobody's gonna let you just go enjoy your time.
Like I'm about to take work off for this baby coming any day now.
Is it any day now?
Yeah.
Podcast over.
So, but yeah, we have another manager that's at another store helping. There's another manager's about to take a vacation at some point, and then he's gone in August. Like he's done, and he's becoming a teacher or something. So like they're like all worried. I'm like, who cares? It's a corporation. Like they'll just let them figure it out. Bring in another helper, another manager. The one who's over the store can come and help if they need to. Like it's not a big deal. And it's just retail. Who cares? But everyone
Retail doesn't take time off though.
they like freak out about everything. Who cares? The product is going to be there. Customers are still going to buy crap. I've gone to help stores out that like they have so much crap in their warehouse that they're
not going to buy enough. They're not going to buy as much as
they
if you
buy
were.
enough. Like there's this certain store that I've gone to help so many times. There's just so much crap still in the warehouse that they haven't gotten out. They still have their percentages in sales are still always up. they're still, I don't know what they're buying because it's like, okay, they don't have as much out, but apparently they do have enough out because their percentages are still up. It's crazy. It blows my mind. I don't get how people buy stuff at that store when half the stuff isn't out sometimes. But they do. I think they just buy whatever. They're like, oh, I'm going to Abu Dhabi to spend money, and they just spend money.
Well, apparently nothing was new back then compared to today because Pharaoh didn't even want the work to stop for 3 days.
Bro, I'm dropping so many.
I did lose one. That one doesn't count.
Probably no, though.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, she did bite into this, and it messed up the structure. She compromised the structural integrity of my pizza.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they like, oh yeah, you've earned this vacation, and then it's like they make it like, oh, like really? Okay, it has to be approved. It's like, bro, I earned it. Just give it to me.
I was always surprised that they were only asking Pharaoh to let the people go for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Like for years, I never really caught that part.
Yeah, I didn't.
Everyone's just like, oh, the people who are enslaved, they want to be released. Like they don't want to live like this. Yeah. And they would have been happy with just 3 days. Like just give us a 3-day vacation.
Yeah.
Pharaoh's like, no.
Yeah, he doesn't budge.
Why are you trying to stop this work? So he says in verse 4, Moses and Aaron, why are you taking the people away from their labor? Get back to your work. So he's basically saying like, you guys go back to work. Mm. But then get this, that same day, you just want to flip it upside down, throw it on the floor a couple times, then try and eat it? What are you doing over there?
I don't know what happened.
Well, that's your problem. You're just holding it from one little end and letting the whole thing. You got a platform underneath. Stabilize. It says, that same day, Pharaoh gave an order to the slave drivers and foremen in charge of the people to now take away the straw that they were providing to all of the slaves to make the bricks and make them get their own straw. And oh, by the way, that doesn't mean your numbers can be less. You still have to keep up with the same output numbers.
I don't understand.
Just bad boss.
Yeah, my mentality is like, if you don't want them to... Now you're giving them a reason to rebel, basically. You're giving them a reason to want to act.
Yeah, so his attempt to prevent rebellion is causing them to rebel. So he's basically creating his own fear, perpetuating it.
Hopefully no one from my work ever watched this, but I've had a similar instance where I'm like, dude, I'm fed up with this. Like, this is stupid. Like, so with the whole COVID thing, there was like shipments that were held off, like like waiting in the ocean to come in, basically. So like there's like this, they were worried about getting product in, so they over-ordered to try and get like what they could get in at the time. So then there's, at one point, we just get slammed because all this stuff finally comes in. Mm-hmm. And they're still like, oh, you can't get overtime. Oh, you can't, but you got to get everything done. You got to keep everything, whatever, but you still got to get it done. And I'm like, make it make sense. How? If this whole entire time, also prior, we've been allowed to get overtime, and then now it's like, oh, no overtime now. Oh, and now you got to do all this stuff. Like, we were doing all this with overtime, and now we have extra to do, and now we can't even get overtime. It made zero sense to me, and everyone was getting fed up. And we're like, oh, well, hopefully next year's not this bad. I'm like, bro, our numbers are insane. Like, we're selling so much crap. We're so much, like, making profit. They're not going to let up. So why would they let up?
Yeah, because if you achieve the numbers, that becomes the new baseline.
Yeah, and it drives me insane. And then we have, like, instances where we have, like, a corporate visit. And so we're told, like, oh, they're coming in, like, you know, be best behavior. If they ask you questions, like, don't say anything negative. Don't say blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why are we keeping this information from them? They need to know this stuff so that they can make changes for everyone to make it better. Gets me so wound up.
The changes might be replacing the supervisor that's making the rules. So they don't want you. They don't want those kinds of changes.
That makes sense, yeah. But I get so wound up. So I did a slight rebellion, I guess you could say. I got on LinkedIn and made like sarcastic posts about stuff.
You very much might lose your job.
Nah, because I would word it in a way to where it was positive. Like, oh, I'm so thankful for all this work we have to do. We have to
That's passive aggressive. That's not positive.
It's very positive.
So grateful we're having to do all of this work and not allowed overtime to do it. Man, we're being really pushed. We're building our skill set so well right now.
Yeah, that's positive.
It would be interesting to see how corporate could argue with that, though, because you're like,
Exactly.
no, I was just saying, like,
yeah, I'm very great. I am grateful for my job. I am. That
I've
is
never
the
been
truth.
pushed so hard in my life. I feel great. And only on a couple hours of sleep too. They really know how to challenge us.
Yeah. Oh, God, I wish I could remember the exact words I said right now. I could pull it up, but we'll save that for.
It's all good.
Yeah. But I have been asked to. So I would visit other stores, and there'd be other store managers that'd be like, "Hey, I hear you got some good posts on LinkedIn." And I'd be like, "Oh," I'd get all awkward, like, "Yeah. Sorry, yeah." And like, "No, I like it. I'm like, "Yeah, I figure." Most people they think it's funny, but then like this one guy's like, "Hey, I really like what you say. I can't interact with you on LinkedIn though because I don't want to get in trouble." I'm like, "Bro, I understand." I was like, "I am on very thin ice right now. I understand. I'm trying to be as safe as I can be with my words."
I'm just surprised you're on LinkedIn making posts.
Well, I don't have any other reason for it. Like, I don't use it for anything. I don't use it to further any career. I'm pretty much where I'm at. I've been offered to move up, and then I turned it down. I said, because I've seen the position, and I do love my job, and I love the company. But I've seen this specific position where they hire from outside, and they pay them more, and then they end up leaving because they suck, or like they just overwork them and they're getting pulled everywhere. And I'm like, you gotta have a life. Like they're like, "Hey, I need you at the store that's 2 hours away. I need you there tomorrow to help out." And they just gotta do it. And it's like to some degree, I get it. Like your salary, you sign this contract, you're obligated. I do get that, but I'm like, I'm not. I was like, that's just not for me. I'm not feeling that. But when I was offered, all my only stipulation to where I was like, hey, I either want to get paid this much more, which I know there has been other people paid that much, and I was like, and I'm good for it. I think you want to promote me also. I was like, that's my first option. Just pay me more, or you don't pay me more, but just don't send me to 2 stores in the district. You can send me any other store in the district. It's just these 2 stores I don't want to go to. And they're like, oh, we just can't make any promises like those. I was like, okay, well, then I can't do it. Like, it's that simple. I was like, I feel like I wasn't asking that much.
Well, hopefully it works out for you.
Yeah, now I'm where I'm at. I'm good with where I'm at. And now I'm about to have a kid. And I'm probably going part-time, full-time dad. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Full-time dad?
It's going to be different. We'll see. I'm not stressed or worried at all, but
I don't know if I could do it. I'm a good dad, but the full-time... It's hard for me to find stuff to do to occupy their time and keep them active and entertained.
So, from outside looking in and not having kids, and just the way I
looking in
grew
where
up too,
am I
everywhere.
Oh, okay, in general, okay.
Everyone, everywhere.
I thought you were like looking in on my house. I'm like, okay, this will be interesting.
I have this weird thought that I think it's good to be bored sometimes. Like, let your kids get bored sometimes. That's part of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't always have to occupy them, I think. And it might suck, and it might be really hard at first. So you got to hold on to that at first, so it's easier later on. Or you give in and make it easier then, make it harder later. So it's super easy for me to say that without a kid.
Okay. I have a question for you, though.
Okay.
Do you have any idea what happens when a 5-year-old gets bored? Nothing good, because they're not just going to sit there with their hands folded and wait for you to
Well,
tell
at
them
5, yeah. So it's like you got to
Let
them get bored
kid.
earlier.
Aside from an infant who literally can't do anything but lay there and poop and cry, once they get mobile, boredom is the last thing you want for your kid, because boredom equals mischief most of the time.
We'll
and then
see.
when they're not
We'll see how it
bored,
goes.
and then when they're not bored, they're intentionally getting into mischief anyway. So it's just constant mischief. But yeah, it's nice to have
We'll see how it goes.
some downtime where you can rest and relax, but you do not want a toddler to be bored. But you also don't want to throw a screen in their face and just
Yeah.
Like, they don't get screens at all. So
TV.
on the weekends, we'll let them watch like educational shows, or we'll watch a movie together, like Homeward Bound or something. That's
So, my kid will watch some TV. No phone, or not, at least not on my phone. Hopefully Emery sticks to that too. No phones, iPad, whatever. But we'll be watching some TV. And it won't be educational. It'll be the good stuff.
like when Nova was a baby. Her first movie I watched with her was Rambo: First Blood, and then Nolan, his first movie was Jurassic Park.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, when they're infants, you can watch whatever you want. Anyway, that same day, Pharaoh goes and takes all of the straw away from. Well, he tells all of the slave drivers and foremen in charge to not provide them straw anymore. So everyone has to go get their own straw, but they have to keep up with the same throughput. As the Israelite foremen, like the reps of the slaves, they approached Pharaoh and were like, how can we do that? Like, you're taking away our straw and then telling us we need to keep up with the same amount of production.
Yeah.
They're like, this is your fault. Like, we can't do this.
Yeah.
And Pharaoh said, well, tough luck, figure it out. So then they get beat harder because they're not keeping up. So it says as they were leaving, like after talking to Pharaoh, they were going outside, and Moses and Aaron were waiting outside for them. And then they were basically telling Moses and Aaron, like, this is your fault. Like, why would you do this? So
I will say, related to Hobby Lobby, the owner, David Green, wrote a book. I read it, and I do agree. There's one part where it talks about getting back to the weeds, and talks about like supervisor type people. Every now and then, they need to get back down and do the work to know, like, realize what's going on.
yeah,
I think that's cool.
it's definitely beneficial.
So Pharaoh needs to get up in there and
Pharaoh needs to go down and start trying to make bricks without straw,
so
getting his own straw.
understand. Yeah.
But Pharaoh didn't care. So yeah, in verse 15 it says, the Israelite foreman went and appealed to Pharaoh, why have you treated your servants this way? We're given no straw, yet we're told, make bricks. Your servants are being beaten, but the fault is with your own people. Pharaoh said, lazy. That's what you are, lazy. This is why you keep saying, let us go and sacrifice to the Lord. Now get to work. You will not be given any straw, yet you must produce your full quota of bricks. So Pharaoh interpreted all of this as, oh, you guys want to go on a 3-day party into the desert? You must have some free time on your hands. So now I'm going to fill it with making you do more work. That's why I'm taking away your straw. That was his mentality for why he did this. He took that as, if you're asking me to go for 3 days and worship God, you must have extra time. Not a cool boss.
And then they tell him we don't have extra time, and he just doesn't care. He just calls him lazy.
He calls him lazy.
Yeah.
So it says, then the Israelite foremen realized they were in trouble. When they left Pharaoh, they found Moses and Aaron waiting to meet them, and they said, may the Lord look upon you and judge you. You have made us a stench to Pharaoh and his officials, and have put a sword in their hand to kill us. I think your version says you made us stink to Pharaoh, which is kind of funny.
Yours pretty much said that, right?
Mine said stench. You put a stench. So then Moses and Aaron are like, my bad. God told us to do it. God did it.
Pretty much.
Then Moses went back to the Lord and was pleading with him. Hey, why did you send us in here? And now Pharaoh's doing even worse to the people. Instead of letting them go, he's punishing them even harder.
Sometimes questioning God and doubts, sometimes you get answers, though.
But this, Moses is pretty direct. He says, ever since I went to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has brought trouble upon his people, and you have not rescued your people at all. Then the Lord told Moses, you'll see what I'll do to Pharaoh. Because of my mighty hand, he'll let them go. And then God just reminded Moses that he is the Lord. He established his covenant.
This is the one where it talks about uncircumcised lips.
That's later on.
It's in 6.
Later on in 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, why? Did you have something you wanted to say about that?
I just wanted to bring it up.
Well, you brought it up. Good job. Was that
That's it.
Is this important to you?
I just want to say the words uncircumcised lips. Just think it sounds funny.
I still don't even know what it means, but
I remember when I said it the first time around, you said gross, or like, this is gross. Like, what?
So God tells Moses, say to the Israelites, I'm the Lord. I'll bring you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians. I'll free you from being slaves to them and redeem you with an outstretched arm, with mighty acts of judgment. I'll take you as my own people, and I'll be your God. Then you'll know that I'm the Lord who brought you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians. And I'll bring you to the land I swore with uplifted hand to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I'll give you as a possession. So Moses went and told the Israelites, hey, I spoke to God. God said, don't worry about it, I got you. The Lord said to Moses, go tell Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to let the Israelites go. So he tells him to go back and tell him again. Mm-hmm. And then Moses says, if the Israelites won't listen to me, why would Pharaoh listen to me, since I speak with faltering lips? That's what you were talking about? Yes.
Yeah, verse 30.
Uncircumcised, yeah. So in some verses it says uncircumcised lips.
Yeah.
Do you know what that means?
No, I just think it's funny.
I don't either, and
because it has to do with the covenant, the circumcision part. So I don't know. I should have looked into it more. I just thought it was funny. Like, if I'm God, I'd be like, oh, you have uncircumcised lips? Okay, Moses, get to cutting.
You got to be careful what you say to God.
I don't know. I just wanted to say the words, uncircumcised lips.
But Moses keeps telling God, like
I'm not good enough,
yeah, nobody's going to listen to me. Nobody's going to listen to me.
So this chapter also has a full genealogy, which we don't have to like fully go into. But I think it's interesting. It mentions Aaron's kids. It doesn't mention Moses' line, like his own. It doesn't mention him and his kids. And I had an interesting thought.
Yeah.
So he like grew up Egyptian Hebrew, and he's like struggling like with his identity, kind of, and like it was when
Moses.
Yeah, I think he's struggling with who he is, and he was like, he like saves a Hebrew guy, and then the Hebrews are like, "Who are you? Our judge? You're gonna kill it?" Like, I think there's like this weird identity thing going on. He's like trying to find his place, and now he's like, "Oh, I can't speak well. Oh God, I'm blah blah blah." So I think he does his genealogy, and then he leaves out his own line or whatever because he's like, I just think it's interesting.
I don't think he was confused. He knew who his people were.
But
that's why he killed the Egyptian to begin with.
Yeah. But he's still finding his place, I think. And he doesn't believe in himself.
He's probably trying to find his more purpose. I don't know if he was confused about his identity. He never once claimed to be an Egyptian. Mm-hmm. He just happened to be raised in Pharaoh's house.
Yeah. This is what I think. And part of me kind of gets some of it with the way I was raised without, there's not a lot of father figures in my family. So, like, my last name comes from someone I don't know. Like, I think I've seen him, like, twice or whatever. My great-grandfather or whatever. Like, I don't have my dad's last name. I got my mom's maiden name or whatever. So, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm like, that's my name. Because I don't know any other father figures with that name personally. So I'm like, it's my name now.
You should take my last name, bro.
No, it's my name. So I'm like,
if
I wrote a genealogy thing, I'd just be like, yeah, I'm from my mom, and then here's my line. Like, I don't think too highly of.
I don't know if were they allowed to do that, like write off.
If you're the writer, you can write whatever you want. If you're the author,
distant dads in the Bible.
If you're the author, what is the saying? Like, history is written by the victors. You ever heard that? Something along those lines. But I think it's mainly related to like war stuff. Like history's written by the victors. Yeah.
I've heard something along those lines, but I've heard to the victor go the spoils.
That's different. But
and I've heard history is written by, and then I can't remember the rest of the sentence.
It's victors.
I don't know. Or
something similar. Something similar to that. Another fun fact about the genealogy: Moses's and Aaron's mom is also their great aunt, because it's their.
How? Because their aunt would be their mom's sister.
Great aunt.
So their grandmother's sister?
Something like that. I gotta find it.
Yeah. So their grandmother's sister is their mom? That doesn't make any sense.
Took his wife, Jochebed.
Amram married his father's sister, so his aunt.
Yes.
So he married his aunt, who bore him Aaron and Moses.
So it's his mom and his great aunt now. Doesn't that make her the great aunt?
Amram married his father's sister, his aunt.
So his
So
granddad's...
Aaron and Moses...
Their granddad's sister is their mom.
born to their aunt. Their aunt is their mom?
Isn't it great aunt?
That's hurting my head. So much incest.
Yeah, it's too close.
I can't...
Levites, keep it in the family.
I guess. Yeah, the clans of Levi. Amram married his father's sister. Okay, so Amram and Jochebed. So Amram's aunt was Aaron and Moses' mom. I don't know.
Their mom is also sisters, is the sister of their granddad.
Their dad's aunt is also their mom. So yeah, I think it'd be great aunt.
Yeah.
My mom is my great aunt.
Yeah.
That sounds like a question that would be on like an IQ test.
Figured all that
You know,
out.
like the problems that are like the paragraphs.
What is the
like,
relation? Yeah, what is the relation? The question is like, what is Moses and Aaron's relation to this person? And like the multiple choices, like mom and grandmother, great grandmother and sister, like
Yeah.
mom and great aunt, cousin and
If a man marries his aunt and bears 2 children,
yeah.
who is she to one of the children? That would take up so much time trying to figure that out. But anyway, yeah, it goes through the genealogy, family record of Moses and Aaron, skipping.
Yeah.
Aaron and Moses told them, the Lord told them, bring the Israelites out of Egypt by their divisions. They were the ones who spoke to Pharaoh. The Lord spoke to Moses in Egypt and told him, tell Pharaoh, king of Egypt, everything I tell you. But Moses said, since I speak with faltering lips, why would Pharaoh listen to me? Then the Lord told Moses, I'm going to just use your brother Aaron. So you're going to be like God to Moses. Aaron is going to be a prophet.
So it says, I have made you like God to Pharaoh.
Yeah.
Like,
Basically, like, you go tell Pharaoh instead of me telling Pharaoh.
Like if God told you, hey, you're going to be like God.
I'd be walking around like Bruce Almighty.
Dude, that would go to my head so
like,
bad. Yeah. And that just like, it clicked. There's a thing later on in some other chapter that like this just clicked where Moses is like God to Pharaoh in a way.
Yeah, instead of God telling Pharaoh directly, God is telling Moses what to tell Pharaoh. So Moses is going to basically be God. And then Aaron is going to tell Pharaoh what Moses
And then
tells him
Aaron's
to
is
tell
like the
him.
prophet.
So Aaron is the prophet because the prophet gets the word from God to tell to whatever target audience.
Does Aaron speak all that much that we know of coming up? Because it sounds like Moses actually speaks a lot.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, we'll
Maybe
see.
he had trouble letting it go.
We'll see.
He was like, I'm supposed to be God.
But he apparently sucks at talking. So I'm confused.
Not if he's got God power.
Maybe
Maybe his speech came back.
just something changed. Then I think it mentions their age. Is that here?
Well, not yet. It does, but Moses is 80 and Aaron is 83 when they go and speak to Pharaoh.
And I guess that kind of relates to what we talked about before with I'm imagining right now they live to like 140 right now when he dies or something like that.
I don't know.
Oh.
But this first chapter in chapter 7, this first paragraph, God says you're to say everything I command you. Your brother Aaron is to tell Pharaoh, to tell the Israelites to go out of the country. But I will harden Pharaoh's heart. Mm-hmm. And though I multiply my miraculous signs and wonders, he's not going to listen to you. I'll lay my hand on Egypt with mighty acts of judgment, bring out my divisions. The Egyptians will know that I am the Lord when I stretch out my hand against Egypt and bring the Israelites out of it. Moses and Aaron did just as the Lord commanded them. Moses was 80 years old and Aaron 83 when they spoke to Pharaoh.
And so during the genealogy, one of the guys lives to 137.
Yeah.
So I'm like, in my head,
Amram.
So if we go back to like the way I'm thinking about ages when we were talking about it when they were 907 years old, like that's when they're capping out, that's like our today's 100-ish. So I'm like, okay, now 140 is like their 100-ish. So if they're 80, I'm thinking they're like a modern, like healthy 60.
They'd have to be healthy
But
because they walked in the desert for a while.
And they're doing a lot at 80. This is a lot that they're about to go through also. This is a lot. Maybe I'm just living in the young man's world though. And I'm like, ew, they're old. That's weird. They got to be younger than they really are.
Yeah, but hard work was a standard back then. So, I mean, to
Yeah.
them, it was just another day.
True.
Now,
True.
if you have to do anything, it's considered hard work.
Yeah.
If you can't use AI, if you have to do something on your own,
Dude, AI is
it's
so
hard work.
There's these videos that are popping up now about
It's rampant.
it's like big. No, actually, there's biblical ones too. So there's like Bigfoot AI where it's like Bigfoot vlogging, and to me, it's so funny and stupid. Like, and it's obvious AI, to me at least. Like old people might like be like, "Oh, this is weird," or "Oh, this is really good CGI." But they have ones also that are like it's like David vlogging. Like it's the captions like if David had a phone. And be like, hey guys, like I heard my brother.
Yeah,
Have you
okay.
seen any of those?
I've seen memes on like if Moses had a phone and it had like
So no, there's like AI
stuff in the back. And
like TikToks, and it looks legit.
that's
Like,
sweet.
but since it's AI, there'll be like a random thing that's off, or like your voice will like randomly change in the next scene, or like something about their hair will be like randomly different. But it's so funny to me, at least. You'll be like, hey, chat, like comment blah blah blah, but it's something dumb. Like, oh, this tall guy's apparently yelling at all these people. Like, let me just collect some stones. Like, bro went down so hard, I only threw one rock. They're pretty good. I've seen one with him. I've seen one with Jonah also. He's like, I just got swallowed by something.
There's been a lot of AI generated videos of food eating itself. Do you ever see? It was like it'd be like a guy made, not like a character made out of like garlic bread eating garlic bread.
I've not seen that.
It's creepy. They had one that was like a Big Mac eating like a Big Mac, and they just have food eating itself, and it looks so creepy and gross.
Maybe it's on your algorithm just because you like food so much.
It might be. It's like, I think this guy wants to see his food eat itself. That's how much he likes to eat.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I should not eat so much now, because it's very creepy watching like something that you like.
AI's getting weird.
There's like a melted pizza guy like with cheese eating pizza.
I've also seen ones where
so gross.
it's like horrific, crazy stuff. This one guy's like, oh, I'm going to do like the lava jump challenge or something along those lines. He jumps in this lava pit. And it's like AI, so it looks
Of
like
course
this
it's
real
AI.
guy hops in lava. Yeah, there's been a lot that I've seen recently.
Some AI though is very hard to tell that it's AI.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy how good it's getting. And it'll only improve.
Yes, and we're gonna end up hosing ourselves because it's gonna take over. Terminator called it back in
I don't
1982.
think it's going to take over, but it's going to be...
Dude, it is going to take over because people are getting dumber and AI is getting smarter.
People are getting dumber, but it's not going to take over. I don't see that happening.
I do, 100%. We're already very close.
It's just not going to take
Dude, Elon's trying to build a robot army by, like, in the next 5 years, 10 years.
For who?
For people's households, like iRobot style.
Wait, an army? Like...
He's trying to build, like, 40,000...
Just like home security? When you say army,
No.
I'm thinking for a country. Like, hey, these are our super soldiers.
No, an army is just a mass amount of people. Or robots. Or something.
yeah.
But he's
Humanoids.
building these assistant robots. They look very similar to iRobot. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
Okay, well, at least you're there.
It's good. It's good little. I like the idea.
Yeah, but again, like the purpose is to have one in every household so that you can be like, hey, fold my laundry. Or wash the dishes.
Just pour some water on
No
it.
absolute way I'm ever letting a robot in my house.
I have a robot vacuum.
I don't even trust...
A Roomba?
I don't even trust Roombas.
Yeah, I got a Roomba. And I named it Human.
Wow.
Like you get to name it on your device.
Oh, you can?
And it's named Human.
Well, great. Now you just confused it.
And it knows the whole map of my house. So
Again, you're reiterating my point. I don't trust robots at all. At all.
I mean, I don't think AI.
I don't want them. I don't want them anywhere near me.
Certain robots I like because we control them. Like we can control them.
You think you control them.
AI
Until it glitches, and then you're like, I don't know what went wrong. It just decided to go haywire. And...
But then you can just turn it off.
But what if you can't?
But when you add the AI part and you add the
Now you're adding
decisions,
self-learning. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
adding self-learning.
That's when it gets weird.
And you're making it... Obviously, it's smarter than people already because people are using it
It's just
to
smart.
do things.
I don't think it's smarter than people. It's smart as the person makes it.
It's smarter than the general person. It doesn't take much to be smarter than the general person, though.
But I would say people overall, like as a whole, people as a whole.
But as a default, people are going to AI for every little thing, which means they can't think for themselves anymore, which means they're literally training their brain to not have to think.
We're kind of already there, though.
Exactly.
We just Google it.
That's what I'm saying. It's already too powerful. It needs to be destroyed.
Destroyed. But what about the funny videos?
I do like those. All right, we'll keep it around a little bit longer.
We'll enjoy it while we can. It's worth it.
I'll take the risk because it does make some funny videos.
Yeah. Might suck for my kids, but I think I'll be dead by then. So I don't have to worry about it.
That's why I'm teaching my kids how to destroy electronics right now.
Get a cup of water.
Go up to the robot and just splash it in the face.
Like most people are like, oh, it's electric. Keep the water away. Keep the water away. Now you're like, oh, kids, this is electric. Have water nearby.
Yeah, we're going to have magnetic fields around the house. Those little shock wands.
Yeah.
Like cattle prod.
Yeah.
I wonder if a cattle prod will short out a robot.
Yeah.
Unless it's not made of metal.
Yeah.
If they make it out of like a polymer or something like that.
Yeah.
Then you got to use fire. So
Almost
you have to be able to
a,
assess. But then what if it's a heat-resistant polymer?
I almost did a cattle prod thing with my friends.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
I wish we did.
You know what? Maybe we'll do one on the air. We'll do it on the podcast.
That would be fun.
It'll be a podcast.
Because I've done a little stun gun.
Yeah, that wouldn't be as fun.
Cattle prod would be worse.
Just want to... We're going to be getting into the plagues, which is the best part of this story, just for the sake of entertainment and all of the things that I plan to discuss. And we're going to play a pretty fun game.
I'm excited.
We're going to play the plague game.
I gotta wait a whole week, though?
Yeah. Maybe. But we're gonna play the plague game. It's going to be fun.
Cool.
So you don't want to miss that. Where do you want to end?
So we can do that little section.
You want to talk about Aaron's staff?
Yeah.
That sounded That sounded
We'll
off.
just talk about Aaron's staff real quick.
I don't want...
What's wrong with Aaron's staff? Why did that sound off?
I don't know. It just came off wrong. I don't know.
Where are you coming from? We got Aaron's staff. We got
Because nobody even knows what that means.
Yeah, but then there's other magician staffs. There's just staffs all around.
All right.
Just a room of staffs.
Where was that? That was Xerxes' party. Remember?
Oh.
When he had all of the
yeah.
nobles and everybody, and then all the women were in a separate party.
Yeah.
Yeah, Xerxes had the room of staffs. That was from the Esther podcast, if you missed that one. But anyway, the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, when Pharaoh says to you, perform a miracle, then say to Aaron, take your staff, throw it down before Pharaoh, and it will become a snake. So just like God did with Moses before, when Moses took off running.
Mm-hmm.
Remember?
So
God basically told them to do that to Pharaoh, because Pharaoh's going to ask them to perform a miracle to prove that it's God that's telling him to let the people go.
Yeah.
Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh, did just as the Lord commanded. Aaron threw his staff down in front of Pharaoh and his officials. It became a snake. This is trippy right here.
Yeah. All of it.
Pharaoh then summoned wise men and sorcerers, and the Egyptian magicians also did the same things by their secret arts. Each one threw down his staff and it became a snake.
Without God.
Without God.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Where's the power coming from?
Yeah. Why don't governments now have these magicians?
Maybe they do. When was the last time you tried to throw down a staff on the ground?
Fair point. Maybe it's just some weird lost magic. Probably a good thing.
By their secret arts. So
Yeah.
it's a secret.
Like the Defense Against the Dark Arts. Yeah.
Harry Potter style.
Yeah. So maybe it's a good thing we lost these secret arts. I don't know if they're good.
There's got to be a scroll somewhere to unlock that. If you had the power to turn a staff,
yes.
like you're walking...
that would be awesome. Yeah.
Because you like snakes, too.
Yeah, snakes are cool.
It would be fun to go to people that are terrified of snakes and then just be like, oh, drop your staff on the ground. And then you just pick it up.
Like, oh, no big deal. It's a staff. What is wrong with you guys?
It's just, yeah.
Yeah, like just freak out and they go on a manic episode and then they're in a hospital.
And you do it again. They're like, I'm I'm seeing snakes everywhere. They don't exist. It's just a staff. So, yeah, but get this. Each one threw down his staff and became a snake, but Aaron's staff swallowed up their staff.
Do you think it's funny? The staff swallowed the staffs. They're not snakes anymore, if we're reading it technically. I just thought that was weird.
Each one threw a staff and it became a snake, but Aaron's staff swallowed up their staffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think that's funny.
It's interesting. It's weird.
It didn't say, and do you think his staff got fatter?
Yeah, I think so. There's
So now he's basically got like a tree, like a small tree.
Yeah.
So then if he throws it down, it's just a bigger snake.
I was thinking the snake was fatter if it was a snake, but yeah, that's funny. No, so I did read where it talked about the word serpent used here is not the same as serpent in the garden. It's a different word for serpent, and it could also be translated as a large sea creature. So
on land?
Yeah, something like that.
That doesn't make any sense.
Maybe large creature. It was something large. Maybe it wasn't a sea, but I think it was sea.
Wait, a large creature like a lion?
No.
Then he just grabs it by the tail and it turns back into a staff?
Does this one say? No, this
It says snake. It doesn't even say serpent.
Well, you have the NIV.
Yeah.
So the word used for snake here is also serpent in others. And that specific word is not the same serpent as in Genesis.
But I didn't catch that before.
Staff swallowed a staff.
But Aaron's staff swallowed up their staffs, verse 12.
Yeah.
Yet Pharaoh's heart became hard and he would not listen to them just as the Lord had said. So that was basically like, okay, this is where we draw the line. If you're not going to believe me after my staff just swallowed all the other staffs that you have, here come the big plagues.
Yeah, Pharaoh's dumb.
Well, God hardened his heart. So I mean, this is why I'm still
Maybe.
struggling to understand all this.
It does say God will harden his heart.
No,
but
it says God hardened his heart.
Right there it says Pharaoh's heart was hardened.
Yeah, God already did it. God already hardened his heart.
We'll talk further about this topic. There's another line later on.
It says it like 4 times. God told Moses, I'm going to harden his heart. And then he's not going to let the people go.
He will.
And I'm going to use my mighty hand.
He will. But
he
he might
do some cool stuff.
I would just say he might not have yet, but he still will.
He might not have yet what?
Hardened his heart. Maybe.
It says his heart's hard, so.
But it doesn't say right there. It doesn't say God made his heart hard right there. It just says Pharaoh's heart was hardened. Doesn't say by whom.
It'll be interesting what conspiracy theory you come up with on the next podcast.
No conspiracy, just reading words.
It's a pretty conspiracy theory type deal you got going on right now.
We're in agreement that it says God will harden his heart.
Okay.
And then right there it says his heart is hardened, but it doesn't necessarily say by whom.
This is where I need AI to just find it for me. Just highlight.
Look, I'm saying I agree that it says he will. I'm saying maybe he hasn't still yet. His heart was hardened by himself.
So you think...
Potentially.
Okay, all right. I can see it. Pride.
Mm-hmm.
Power. Mm-hmm. People. I couldn't think of anything else to start with P. I was trying to go for the P theme, but...
You have any pride in this pizza?
Are we grading it right now?
I think so.
I wish it was super fresh when I took it out, like when we ate it first, because it was a little bit dry because I had to cook it for an extra 30 minutes.
I will say this pizza made me a new fan. I like bacon. I will always say bacon's overrated, but this, I liked the bacon a lot.
I like the buffalo.
I love buffalo. I love it.
That's what. Look at the buffalo side's almost gone. I'm just
because Nova.
I have, yeah. That half wouldn't have even been touched if it wasn't.
Yeah.
I might go get the buffalo sauce and just kind of finish this up.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. So we're grading the buffalo side, or are we grading? Because you didn't even have.
I have no.
All right, we'll grade the buffalo side because that's
all I ate.
That was the primary option.
This is getting hard. I'm trying to keep in mind other pizzas. I'm like, oh, that one's better. That one's.
I know. I'm gonna give it a 8.4.
Okay, I was gonna go 8.3. So we were close. I 8.2 also popped in my head, so I can officially say 8.2. So you
all
can
right,
just
so
make
we'll
it
say 8.3. 8.3 for this one.
Yeah.
I think if it was fresh out of the oven, I probably would have gotten up to like an 8.6.
I liked it a lot still.
It's tasty. I would definitely make it again for sure.
Yeah.
But
especially if like it's for the kids and yourself. Like this is the top one for the kids and you. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. But I had to cook like everything, like time it perfectly so that one wasn't.
Yeah. Cool.
And then we're gonna get into the plagues next. It's gonna be super fun. You don't want to miss that one.
I'm excited.
And we.
Do you know all the plagues by heart before reading this?
I'm not gonna name them. I know it.
I did not.
I know.
Kind of like the Ten Commandments. What are those? You know.
I mean, you're not lying. It's hard. It's hard to remember everything. Because I can't remember what I ate for breakfast this morning. So.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a
What
PBJ.
did I eat for breakfast? I don't know. The plagues, I probably know. I would say maybe 7 of them. I'd have to start writing them down in order to.
That's a good amount. I would.
I don't know what I don't know. Like I haven't tried.
Sure. Yeah.
But I know a couple of them that I wouldn't want anything to do with.
If I, all of them, yeah. If I had to guess, it would have been like 2. I think I would have known 2.
2?
I think so. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Oh no! Like yeah. I feel like I'm missing 1 or 2 somewhere. But I know a good amount of them. We're gonna get into it.
Get into it next week.
So yeah, stay tuned. Come back. This game's gonna be fun. It's gonna be real fun.
We'll see. I'm excited. I don't know how.
I know that's why
how
it's
to
gonna be
make it a
fun
game.
because you have no idea what's coming.
The plague game.
The plague. Plague.
Sounds like a horror video game. Plague. Like Doom. Or Dead. You ever played Dead Space?
Dead Space. I played it for like
That's a good game.
10 minutes and then it scared me to death and I had to shut it off.
Dude, it's so good. It is. It can be scary. Dude, that game is good.
It was too much.
At the time,
That's with the guys with like the spike arms, right?
there's a lot of crazy guys. Yeah.
Like in the beginning.
And you have a gun. I think your first gun is called a line cutter.
It's like a
You can do either
It's like a staple gun, basically.
either side. It's like the primary weapon. If you know how to use it.
I have the game. I played about 5-10 minutes,
There's 3 or 4 of them.
and
They're good.
I get too into games. Like
Yeah, I get
mentally,
locked in.
I might as well be in VR.
Oh, dude, that game gets psycho too.
Oh, if that game was VR, I would have to wear it.
Because it's scary with jump scares and weird monsters, but
Yeah.
then it's like psychological too. The character who you're playing is like seeing stuff and like seeing like the love of his life, like but
Flashbacks?
but
Yeah,
dead,
yeah, yeah.
But she's dead, or she's like a part of. It's crazy. It's dude. That game in the time I was playing it, I like fell in love with video games all over again. Like I'm like, oh, video games are cool. I play them every now and then. That one, I was like, video games are what this world was meant for.
Video games are awesome, but I don't want to be scared when I'm playing a video game. Like even for the character,
Yeah.
like because I put myself in that character's shoes. So
For
like,
sure.
if you hit that character, you're hitting me, bro.
Yeah,
and
for
I'm not
sure.
having that.
I'm hitting back.
I mean, it was cool up until like I saw the first guy, and I'm like, no,
It's so fun.
because you have to run. Like you can't. They don't even give you a weapon at first. That's what ticks me off. Like fully arm me up, bro. Give me the full armor of God before you send me out there.
Dude, that game is so good.
Right?
You're missing out.
Because the
Missing
thing
out.
like drops through the ceiling or something, or you're looking through
Something.
the glass, and like everyone's
Something.
getting wrecked, and then they come through, and you're like,
Bro,
I got no gun.
that game is good. You're missing out. But it's scary. I get it.
It was too much. I'm like, I can't enjoy this when I'm terrified to walk around every corner.
Yeah, you're literally... That makes it so good. Because you're literally like, I hope there's not anything over here. Like every freaking corner.
Yeah, I don't.
So good.
I don't do games like that.
Oh, it's so good.
I tried to play Resident Evil 4 because it was like a free demo. 5 minutes. I'm like, nope. Since when does a zombie have a chainsaw? Nope, not doing it.
That's so funny.
Not doing it.
Zombie with a chainsaw is fun.
And they're fast. They get faster. It's like,
They're like mutated zombies.
yeah. What's World War Z? That movie?
Yeah, those are not. Those suck.
Those are like
Way too fast.
Those are like Usain Bolt
Way too
zombies.
Fast. Yeah.
They run like 30 miles an hour. I can't do it.
And for some reason, there's 20,000 of them
Yeah.
in one spot.
Yeah. And for some reason, they're all the same build. They're all the same race, ethnicity, height. It's like 20,000 twins. In a real zombie apocalypse, you would have all different national. Yeah, you'd have some heavy guys that aren't running that fast. That you could at least avoid a couple of them.
Oh, that was wrong.
And then you'd have a couple of them that were super fast.
I feel bad. That was wrong of me.
No, but
just to say they're all fat.
They wouldn't all be fat, but you would have a mix.
Yeah.
Right? Just like anywhere.
Yeah. Would the
What?
would the larger people get eaten bit first because they're not as fast?
If they were zombies, they wouldn't get eaten.
No, as humans to become
Yeah.
I feel bad.
What's bad about it? Larger people are not going to be as fast as the freaking scrawny people. It's physics. There's nothing wrong with
On
that.
average, yeah.
Either way, there was no mix.
Yeah. Or was either all insane. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that movie. Zombies should not be fast. Like The Walking Dead, perfect. Nice and slow. Didn't really do a lot of thinking.
Yeah.
Like I don't want them to be able to solve.
They probably have a couple semi-fast. Right?
I don't want them to be able to solve puzzles and like run. But just kind of, just chilling, walking.
My favorite zombie games were Dead Rising. Because the main part was the bosses were humans, like psychopaths. They were fun and interesting and crazy. And then the first one's in like a mall, so you're like in these random stores, so you get like random attire from whatever mall store you go to.
That's cool. I like that.
And random like weapons from all
Go to a
these stores.
sports store and get a golf club.
Yeah, golf club.
That's awesome.
Hockey stick.
I like that.
And then you craft certain weapons too, like so you get like a
Naturally.
tennis ball launcher. Well, that's probably already there. You don't have to craft that, but yeah, you craft stuff. yeah. And there's like stupid weapons. Well, you get a foam finger. Like you can hit them and it like they go to the side, but it doesn't kill them obviously.
A foam finger.
Yeah, there's some fun stuff.
Who would try it? Who would try a
You're
foam
desperate
finger?
running from zombies. And you're like, I need a weapon because your weapons deteriorate over time.
A foam finger wouldn't even be a.
So you're like you're
concept.
panicking, running from zombies.
No.
Like, just grab an item. In the video game, it just like pops up like pick something. Like you see as a foam finger, but you're running like grab it. This is nothing.
That's like running into the Macy's and grabbing a pillow off the demo bed, and trying to hit a zombie with a pillow.
Keep space. Well, you create that space to get away from you. It works a little bit. They keep coming, but
the zombie pillow fight.
Yeah.
Then all the zombies are like grab pillows and they're all like feathers flying everywhere. Then they forget they were even after you because they're just having fun. It's not as good as Broforce, but
Broforce is so funny.
Broforce is the best game on the planet. Whoever made Broforce needs to do a Broforce 2.
I don't know. Far Cry.
Oh well,
Far Cry
is definitely one of the
because you
tops.
can be stealth if you want. You can be absolutely insane.
Yeah, the Far Cry series, I own them all. They're tops.
Yeah, 3 through 6.
You have Primal too.
Primal was my favorite. Yeah, Primal was fun.
Primal was pretty good.
Yeah.
4 video games are awesome. They really are.
5 was good. They were all good. 4, 5, and Primal are the top 3 for me.
I liked Blood Dragon.
Blood Dragon's fun.
Because I like the retro.
Yeah. I think
Blood Dragon was a lot of fun.
Story-wise, I think 5 is my favorite.
That's with the dude in the purple suit?
No, Purple Suit's 4.
Oh, 5 was the Hills of Montana.
Cold Herd.
Yeah. That one was pretty cool.
That's my favorite story.
What was that drug that made you all trippy? They had it was like poppy fields.
Was it Eden?
Eden was the
Eden?
Eden was like
that was a place.
The end. Yeah. But they like you run through those fields.
Was it Bliss?
Yes.
It was Bliss?
I think it was.
It's something like that.
Because
Bliss,
you run through those fields and that like it just starts sparkling. And you're just like, whoa. Yeah. What's going on with the screen?
Yeah. I would get so mad sometimes. I'm like, oh, let me go get this loot over here. And he's like, oh. I'm like, no, not right now. I wanted that specifically. I came all the way across the map to get here. Why?
Yeah.
And dude, that game got me good. That was the one, when that happens, you go to that like bunker or something. And they force you to do this mission.
Yes, over and over and over.
So you're like, okay, shoot the guy, boom, 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 shoot the guy.
And then you get
shoot the
so
guy.
used to shooting everybody that you go to the end and you shoot the guy.
I'm getting
anyway.
goosebumps now. remembered. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, they got me so freaking good.
You play it through probably 15, 20 times before you get to the end.
Maybe not that much, but
I did.
enough.
Because and then when you get to the end, did you shoot him?
Yes,
Of course, because you're so
it's
used to,
instinct.
you're so used to being trigger. Yeah, they literally teach you like.
Can you? I don't even know if you can go through it without shooting it.
Without shooting the guy at the end, you can.
You can,
I think so. Unless the whole thing is just like.
because it's part of the story. So I don't know, but it jacked me up.
I don't think anyone's never not.
It jacked me up, dude.
Because
Gosh.
you're so used to shooting everybody. You get to the end and you're just like, target, shoot.
Boom, boom, boom.
I think they get everybody with that. That's the fun thing about video games. Is like they can get in your mind and they can train you like this is how you have to play.
Yeah.
And then you don't even mean to, but you're doing what they need you to do.
Yeah.
Video games rock.
They do. And I've always liked video games, and then there's a point where I'm like, it's such a waste of time. It has nothing to do with your life. Just cut it out, live your life, But then I'm like, but it brings me happiness. So maybe there is a reason for it. It brings.
What's crazy is I'll spend hours and hours and hours leveling up a character in a video game. I'm like, if I spent that time taking like a music lesson or working out,
Exactly. Yeah.
or reading a book that was like an intellectual book that I was learning something new.
Yeah.
I would be leveling up my own personal self.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, whatever.
Yeah. Let me just play this game that.
But that's what life is. Like, you literally could level up yourself if you take the time to do those things. But
then if you think of it that way, you level up yourself in life, and then life ends.
Or you get bored.
What's the point?
You level up too much, everything becomes too easy, you get bored.
That is true. And the game's way too easy. And
Yeah, it's fun for a little while.
I also hate how you beat the game, you unlock something special and crazy. It's like, okay, cool, but now I beat the game. So now I don't want to...
New Game Plus.
That is a good option, yeah.
New Life Plus.
But then sometimes there's...
That's what happens when you go to heaven. You get the New Life Plus.
But yeah, sometimes video games, you unlock this crazy thing and you're like, I've literally done every single thing. Because I do all the side quests at the same time.
I do
before.
too. I thoroughly beat a game before I do the main missions.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. All right. Go to the next video. I'm ready for next week. I'm ready to play the play game.
Yeah, we're going to play the play game. Tune in. Podcast over.